Hello and welcome to the On the Knob pod. I'm your host Will Rooney and today I am joined by Andy Kelly, Henry Gibbs and Darren Butler from the other side of the Irish Sea. And we are beginning our race previews for the Cheltenham Festival. We're going to look at previewing every race ahead of the big meeting in March. We all can't wait. And we will start off with the curtain raiser, which is the Supreme Novices Hurdle. Unfortunately, there won't be any fans there. Won't be the big roar that we normally get when the tape goes up for the curtain raiser, but it looks like it's going to be a decent affair. Willie Mullins again as the favourite, as he does nearly every year. Appreciate it 7-4, Metier 7-1, Ballyadam 8-1, Sword and Glory, who won the Betfair Hurdle on Sunday, he's 12-1, and it's 20-1 bar. And Appreciate it obviously sets the standard. He's a couple of wins in Ireland in Grade 1 company, but he looks short enough at 7-4 at the minute.
Yeah, it's not a price for me, to be honest. Will, the horse has done absolutely nothing wrong this season so far. It's won its first race over hurdles, then went on to win the Future Champions and the Chanel Farmer. So you can't knock it being Grade 1 form, but there's just something eking away at me. It's 6-4, 7-4. It's not a price I want to take in the Supreme. There's always a horse that can pop up in this race and, you know, just take this race out away from the favourite. So no, I wouldn't be going with Appreciate It in this one. Maybe a bit of demons in my head from last year when you were with me, Will, and I had a massive bet on in the bumper, as you know, and Fernie Hollow stormed up to chin me.
You were killed there, weren't you? You were crestfallen.
It was big bet of the festival last year, and I could be completely talking through my pocket here, but I just think Appreciate It, and it'll suit a bit further than Slip, like 2 mile 3, 2 mile 4. Like I say, I think something could pop up here and beat it. I think Ballyadam, he gets good ground. Ballyadam, I think it can easily overturn the form. I don't think when he first ran against Appreciate It, there was something wrong that day, and obviously at the Dublin Racing Festival, he got within 3.25 lengths, 3.5 lengths of Appreciate It, and I think that form could easily be overturned on good ground, a really strong pace. I think Appreciate It could get found out if something serves it up from the front. Moving on from Appreciate It, Ballyadam probably would be my win bet here. I can't have Metier at all. It's beat absolutely nothing for me. Shake 'em up, Harry. Not impressed with that. It's just a handicapper, isn't it? It's not for me. Really poor standard of form behind that. Another one I put up here is Blue Lord each way. It's improving for every run. Beaten by Bob Ollinger over the longest trip last time out. I think Darryl Jacob been impressed with it as well. I think he mentioned it on the podcast last week. So I'll probably put Blue Lords up, and I know Henry likes that one, so it might be worth going across to him next.
Yeah, Henry, I mean, we've seen Sword and Glory win the Betfair on Sunday. That was quite impressive. That's a 12-1 shot. What do you make of the English challenges? For me, it looks quite thin, really. Metier looks underpriced, I beg your pardon. I'm not really impressed by the form in the Tolworth, but Sword and Glory's obviously got to step his performances up. Is this a race that goes to Ireland, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Well, it's certainly one of the weakest renewals of Supreme we've had for quite a while. In regard to the English challenges, Metier first. Obviously, he hasn't done much wrong as he's won all 3 starts, but when you get that heavy ground at Sandown, as impressive as it looked in the Tolworth, you've got to take it with a pinch of salt. And I just think the fast run 2 miles around Cheltenham might just catch him out, especially with the forecast that we've got over the next couple of weeks. We're probably looking at good to soft ground on the opening day, and I just don't know whether I think he might lose the race in the first half, similar to Irving when it was a similar profile, when that got beat in the race when going off a short place. Sword and Glory, I was quite impressed with his win on Sunday. It was very impressive. It was obviously a fast run 2 mile race, which is similar to the Supreme, and he travelled strongly, jumped well, and obviously picked up and went away to the line. But I've been looking back at the Betfair Hurdle winners, and I don't know. Like, considering it is always talked about as like one of the signature trial races for the Supreme. Looking at some of the winners, you've got Pic Dory won it last year, hasn't done anything of note. Al Dancer won it in 2019 and then ended up going off favourite for the Supreme. And it was well beaten, wasn't it? Kalashnikov's a bit of an exception because that did go close, finishing second. But if you look back at the winners, it's not very impressive. There's not many Grade 1 winners in there. And as impressed as I was with Soaring Glory, I just don't know if he's going to be up to winning a Supreme Novices Hurdle, albeit he is a good horse. Appreciate it. It's got to be a favourite that you take on for me, especially if it does get good to soft ground. It was talked about as a Ballymore horse, and you've got to have that niggling doubt that he might just get done for a bit of speed. He's going to go. He's likely to make the running, and I just think one or two might just pick him off in the straight. And although it's not the strongest of renewals, it's certainly worth chancing a couple at decent prices. Like Anthony said, Blue Lords. He's getting better every run. He was second behind Bob Allinger over 2.5, where he ran very keen, looked in need of the experience. And then last time out, he finished third behind Appreciator, doing all his best work at the end. And I do think he's a horse improving. I think he'll appreciate the better ground. And he might just be one that'll just be held up on off the strong pace and might just pick them off. And at 20-1, I think he's going to be a great each-way bet, providing he does go here. The talks are Mullins is looking at the Supreme over the Ballymore, but I'm sure the weather may have a bit of an impact in that. So I'd recommend that non-runner, no bet. And again, I can only echo what Anthony said. I'd much rather back Ballyadam from a win perspective than Appreciate it. Gordon Elliott's had a quiet season, really, but I've noticed over the last week or so he's starting to pick up now, and hopefully he's hitting form at the right time. I think his jumping will improve on quicker ground, and if you're asking, Appreciate it at 7-4, albeit you'll probably get bigger on the day, or Ballyadam at 7-1. Surely you've got to be back on Ballyadam at 7-1 here.
Darren, what do you make of that form of Appreciated? Obviously, it's rock solid, isn't it? But for me, last time out at Dublin Racing Festival, it just looked like the lads have echoed it. It might want a little bit favourable because Willie Mullins has already got the Ballymore favourites. Is he pigeonholing this horse into a 2-mile race? Could you see him getting done for toe? And is there anything down the field in the betting that you might think over in your neck of the woods? You might think, you know what, that's overpriced. That's got a good bit of form.
Yeah, well, I'm a bit like the lads. I kind of look at Appreciated and look at 7-4 and think, you know, I wouldn't be backing it, but I'm finding it hard to get a beat. I'm like, I don't think it's a solid 7-4, but when you look what it's up against, I mean, he has beat Ballyadam twice, and I don't know if Ballyadam can really turn that around. I know, if, as you say, if Gordon's form comes into form, yeah, maybe so. I think Appreciated would probably have to jump a little bit better than he did, a bit more fluent than he did at the Dublin Racing Festival as well, because we know Cheltenham would be different for him. But I am finding it hard to get him beat. So each way, I have a nice big price one that I have backed each way, anti-post, and it's another Willie Mullins, MC Muldoon. He's 33-1, non-runner, no bet, and I know there's 50s going in others and that. He had a good flat mark with Peter Chapelheim. His first hurdle race, he finished fourth, but it was in a large field. It was heavy ground, and then he won over 2 miles in heavy ground on the second race, again from Mullins. So I think, you know, I find it hard to see Appreciate get beaten, to be honest with you, but I wouldn't be backing him at 7-4. And you know, we've seen horses go in there at fancy odds and look unbeatable, better than he has. But I'm just looking at, I think it's a weak Supreme. So there's definitely a possibility that something can come out that maybe is lightly raced or we haven't seen too much of. So yeah, so I just fancy that each way. As I say, I've done it each way. You're hoping he's going to turn up. So obviously the non-runner no bet is the market to be looking at this stage. But as I said, 33-1, he looks like he could have some sort of a squeak outside, and I'd rather be back in something like him, or even the Drill Deal at 16-1 each way. That horse just keeps climbing the rankings constantly, and there's still we still haven't found the bottom of him yet. But it would be amazing to see him win this. But he could maybe go into a place as well. But yeah, as I say, I kind of. I was disappointed with Appreciate slightly in Dublin Racing Festival, but he got the job done. I can't see Ballyadam turning that form around unless the ground really goes against them, and and if the ground goes anyway good, I would actually be looking at that MC Muldoon each way, because he has the flat speed, and he's also done the job over heavy, but he will be a better horse on good ground.
And I just don't get the impression with Appreciated that he's a Vautour or a Duvan. I just don't get those vibes from the Mullins yard that they have that same sparkle as those two horses that he's won it with in recent years. What do you reckon?
No, I agree with you there, like I say, but he's a horse that's going to do better over further for me. I mean, could go potentially, he's going to go chasing next year. Is he 8 now, Appreciate It, or 7, sorry?
7.
7, so be 8 by the time Cheltenham comes around next year. He's going to go chasing, isn't he, in the book? It's a crazy one. Like, I don't know anyone that's really strong on Appreciate It. I'm fairly happy to take him on with Ballyadam and Blue Lord each way there.
Just in regards to Appreciate It, to be honest, I can just see it panning out exactly like the bumper. It's come in with a similar profile, albeit over bumpers last season, where it was impressive, looked very good, and then come to the bumper, it goes off a short price favourite, and then just gets done by Sutton. That was held up, showed a nice turn of foot, and went past it. And I think it's just finding the right one. That's going to be the hard part for me. I just think Appreciate It is probably a banker to get placed, because it's going to run his race. He's going to set out from the start, try and make it a stamina test, but I just think he's going to get picked up by 1, maybe 2. But it's certainly an interesting race, although it is a weak race. And another negative for Appreciate It, 7-year-old's record in the Supreme is abysmal, so he's the only 7-year-old near the top of the market, which has to be a bit of a concern as well.
Yeah, Captain CB was the only other 7-year-old that won it.
Yeah, and under vintage chocolate thorn.
Superb stuff. That's right. We'll come for you around for your tips then. So, Ants, just to be clear, it is Ballyadam win and Blue Lords for you.
Yeah, Ballyadam win for me. Yeah, Will and Blue Lords each way. Interesting that Darren mentions the Real Deal. Obviously, Rowan and McNally horse, so God knows how much improvements there. That could be a potential one each way, but no, yeah, like I say, Blue Lords each way and Ballyadam to win.
Darren?
Yeah, I'm going to book the trend. I'm going to say, I know it's boring, but I'm going to go Appreciate It, win, and MC Muldoon each way.
And finally, Henry.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same as Ant on this one. Ballyadam for a win bet and Blue Lord each way.
Superb. Get the twist forecast on then. Thanks very much for joining us. You've listened to our Supreme Novices Hurdle preview. Join us next time.